the system that we call America, whether we want the justice system, the job market system, or just, the systems of situations that happen in regards to race, all that versus actual living life, which is kind of what we just mentioned. Yeah, the system did what it did. President is whoever the president is. We continue with life. But diving a little deeper into that, you hear it's the system for everything. So where does the system end and personal responsibility begin?
Oh, that's a different monkey wrench. That was not the what we were talking about. But he said responsibility. We was going to talk about it. He said responsibility.
Because this is another thing that I bring up a lot.
Now, responsibility, it depends on. Now, the system, let's talk about just the system, right?
Okay.
The system is more of, go to school, then get a job and all that stuff, be good, But how can the person goes to school, right? And then when they go to school, what are you taught? Abraham Lincoln, this, that, and the third. How can you thrive if that's what you're taught? I seen in certain schools, their kids in third grade are being taught the stock market.
Only up north, because they sure ain't doing that.
No. That was in up north. That was like a private school, for sure. It was a private school.
Really? Oh,
it was a private school.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but I'm looking like, how can people compete?
Yeah.
How are kids going to compete with that kid that's learning college material? Or, you have to go, I think you have to be an accountant to learn about the stocks and stuff like that. You have to be in that particular field. But you're teaching that to a third grader. So how do you expect a kid that's learning about George Washington and this land is your land, this land is my land? How is that person going to compete? So you're saying a third grader is more advanced than a 12th grader because by the time that kid goes to 12th grade, that kid's a pretty much got his master's.
Yeah.
So it's
excelling.
So, the system, it moves the goalposts a lot, and that sucks. But life, when I say life, if I plant a seed right now, I give it the proper, if I plant a seed in a place that hasn't been really tampered with, like a pure ass land, pure soil that hasn't been tampered with all this shit. If I plant a seed, I water, I take care of it, it will grow.
Yeah.
So that's the difference between life and the system. There's a way that we're probably supposed to all live, treat each other. We probably already knew that. But somewhere down the line, people started getting killed, books started getting burnt. We got taught a new system. So now people's responsibility is like, if you're taught something, how can you be responsible to know right and wrong if you're taught wrong?
Right.
How do you know something if you weren't taught that there was something else?
Right.
If you're taught bad, what do you expect from the person? To be bad. So it sucks, which why I try to tell people, listen, adjust. I tell people, listen, if you're going to have kids, there's bullies out there. First thing you need to teach your kids, martial arts. Martial arts.
Grip, bro.
Yeah. Go do martial arts or boxing, something. Put them in training. You hear the word training? Yeah. Put them in some type of martial arts for the person. Because now if a bully does appear, they could run or whip ass. You see how I did it like Steve Harvey? Whip ass. Steve Harvey never says the W. Yeah, whip in the hell. Like, I love when I watch Family Feud, a little off the thing, but when it comes to white people, he never really jokes like, when he black people, man, it's like he had a cookout.
You be going ham with the black people, man.
Yeah,
My
man.
goodness.
Yeah, so, but I say that to say this, it's like, adjust, because now, there was a shorty, right, known this girl for over 10 years, and, so she has a son. He was like 4 or 5. So one day I was helping him go to school. I was teaching him how to tie his shoes. Yeah, I had like 10 minutes before the bus came, but I'm like, yo, let me teach you how to tie your shoes because we're not doing the Velcro no more. So as I'm teaching him how to tie his shoes, I told him like a good 10 times. Then I said, you know what? Learn it yourself. He started crying. Oh, it's too hard. And he started getting angry and mad. And like he's crying, trying to like attack me. I'm like, come on, bro, what we doing? And that made me realize this kid can't control his emotions.
Yep.
And I was like, yo, dude. Then he started crying and all this stuff. And I hear the bus coming. I said, you know what? I just tied it for him. And I was like, yo, go about your business.
Get on the bus. Yeah.
Get on the bus. So now that was like, let's say 7 years later. Shorty hit me up like, yo, son just got in a fight. I said, no, she didn't say he got in a fight. She said he's acting up and he's got out of control. So I text him. I'm like, yo, what's happening? He was like, I was like, yo, your mama saying you acting up. What'd she tell you? I said, you can't ask a question with a question. Tell me what's going on. Oh, I got into a fight. I said, instantly called him. I'm like, yo, explain. He was like, yeah, so I was chilling. And as I was chilling, this dude was with, mind you, they're all teenagers. They're 13, 14,
right.
12, whatever. So some dude was with like 3, and then he just picked on my homie. He started saying, oh, he's just saying clown. He's making my homie the butt of the joke.
Right.
And my homie's not looking like, dude, I'm just trying to chill at the park. So he's trying to make the homie butt of the jokes. And then the antagonizer comes. Instigator, I meant.
And then the instigator comes.
The instigator comes out. Oh, you gonna let him disrespect you for the and all that? So now my homie's like, I don't give a about those bitches. In his mind, he didn't say it, but he don't give a about those bitches nor him. He's like, but you can't let him do that to you. This, that, you gotta. Matter of fact, how about this? Just slap box. My homie's like,
oh, we still slap box? I thought that was dead and gone. I thought them kids just be bringing weapons now.
Yeah, no, they still slap box, I guess. You know what I mean? So
That's
now, so my homie, they slap box. My homie really didn't want to slap box because he's like, what type of time are you on? But he felt like, so they slap box. They said my homie lost the slap box because he didn't really want to do it. But then when the slap box was getting heated, the slap box turned to a fight, and that's when my homie lost it. He lost it and beat the brakes out the kid. Mind you, my little homie, he's 13, 5'8", probably like 200 pounds. He plays football.
Oh, that's not somebody I'd want to slap box with. The heck?
So my homie knows his, you know what I mean? He knows his capability. He's like, I ain't trying, but he ended up beating the brakes out the kid. The instigator laughed, walked away.
He walked away. Mission accomplished.
Yeah. I got these monkeys to do what I wanted to do. He was thinking he was Don King. And then I asked my homie, I was like, yo, after you beat him, did you take his Nah. I was like, oh my God. Nigga, you supposed to take his It's like, you mine now. Because that's what used to happen back in those days. When dudes would fight, he'd be like, I want your girl. Fight me for her. I'm like, dude, at least you're supposed to take them, bro. Make them feel embarrassed. Like, don't, like, you know what I mean? But that goes back to responsibilities, being responsible. No one taught him. I tried to teach him to control his anger. Him being probably around his mother, you know, she probably goes off emotions, stuff like that. So he's probably not knowing how to control his emotions. So, yeah, there's responsibility to be a man or a young teenager. He needs to know how to horn and control that because he can mess up his NFL deals in the future or NBA. Because look what they did to Michael Beasley. Michael Beasley's track record was, he was a disturbed kid. He was a disturbed kid from D.C., this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
But when he got to the NBA, it was complete 180. But since they heard about, out their program, they heard that he was a disturbed child in D.C., that dark cloud carried or followed him, but it wasn't on top of him, but it followed him. And people only looked at the dark cloud, not the person that's in the sunlight.
Right.
And that's why I try to tell the young boy, yo, bro, you got to control yourself, bro. Because if you messing up your opportunity, because those niggas, they might be in jail, dead, or work 9 to 5. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with 9 to 5s, but what I'm saying is your dreams that you're dreaming are
outweighs what they got going on.
So that goes back to your question, and hopefully I answered it. It was long-winded, but hey, that's why you got me here, because I do the most.
Doing the most.
Yeah.
You don't fail what you did. You don't fail. All right, right. Dang, y'all. That puts a lot into perspective, and that goes even into a lot of the stuff that we had already mentioned. The responsibility aspect of it, the culture of it. There's very few times. What's the percentage of a fight actually breaking out after slap boxing? Isn't it like a over 80% chance that they're gonna end up fighting afterwards?
Nah, I slap box a lot. Ain't fight because it was a mutual understanding. Yo, we just slap boxing. It's out of the slap boxing is to show if you got hands.
Yeah,
it show that if you know how to fight. That's what slap boxing is. It's like, yo, it's slap box. I don't want to hurt you.
Right.
You feel me? So, and a lot of times you slap box with your homies. You don't slap box with a stranger because the nigga, we fighting.
Oh yeah.
You don't go to a stranger. Right. Let's slap box. What? Nigga, I'm shooting you. I'm beating the up easily. I'm beating you up. Just slap box. Right. So majority of the time, the times that I slap box, it was just, all right, bro, you got hands, I respect you, and we got a mutual understanding. We move on. I never see. Please tell me how many slap boxes. You said 80%. That's
it. Must have been the cats in Rahway then trying to beat thugs and stuff. That's normally what ended up happening.
Damn.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff, man. Yeah. That's crazy. All right. So, if the system is rigged, and let's say that it is, does that change what a man is accountable for in his own life?
What the f*** answers your questions you hit me with, bro? You did not let me prepare for none of this. This nigga, we were supposed to.
You're right. I just told you general topics. You're right. I didn't tell you exactly what we're going to be at.
Ask the question again, man.
All right. So if the system is rigged.
Okay.
Hold on. Where am I? Here we are. If the system is rigged, does that change what a man is still accountable for in his own life?
That is amazing.
Because I see this and I hear this a lot. What you see, like Anton Daniels talk about the black man victimhood mindset and stuff like that. So that's essentially what it boils down to. At what point do you become responsible if the system is holding you down?
All right, now let's talk about this, right? And,
okay.
We're gonna do numbers. High schools, my high school, let's say our senior class, let's just say 500 kids.
Mm-hmm.
That's just one high school. Then you had Elizabeth High School.
Yeah.
That had, I think, 4 or 5 high schools combined.
They sure did, yeah.
So let's say they push out, 2,000 kids. That's 2,500 kids.
Which is crazy because that's one high school over here. But go ahead, continue.
Then now you have so many colleges.
Mm-hmm.
Every college probably has, let's say, a minimum of 2,500. Just one college. Nigga, in each state probably has 100 colleges.
Mm-hmm.
So just do the math from there. Then after you go from college, you got to go find a job.
Mm-hmm.
Then next year, there's a whole nother, let's say after all this, every year, let's say 2 million kids are being pushed out of college. 2 million. Where are all these jobs at? Especially AI is coming.
Yeah.
Nigga, when I used to go to ShopRite, or ShopRite is Kroger's and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Back in those days, there'd be hella people on the register. Now, self-checkout.
self-checkout. They probably got 3 people on registers now, maybe.
Where are people getting these jobs at? Then now you go, I think there's something that was going on. I got a parking ticket. Usually you look around, you're like, all right, if I'm running 2.5 seconds, I don't see nobody, I'm going to go.
You
Bruh,
good.
They sent the ticket to my house. So now the parking people are probably losing their jobs, or they don't have to work as hard because they just take a picture. Because they have
just
a
taking
pole.
pictures. Or they got cameras, sitting on some post that's looking in that direction.
Yep. So now, you feel me? Now they're about to have cars that drive themselves.
Oh, the Waymos down here. Yeah.
No, it's not. This was in Vegas, but this is like.
Oh, we got them down here in Georgia.
Oh yeah, I don't give a fuck. Where the fuck is that? I ain't getting that more. Fuck. I seen one time on social media. The guy was in his car. He was supposed to go to the airport. That just started doing 360 for like 15 minutes.
Oh nah.
He's on the phone with the company like, yo, your car is.
What y'all doing?
He couldn't exit, nothing. I'd have been through up. So, you feel me? So, I say that to say this. That's why when the lyrics come up, the music, where all the scamming ass, that song, it's like, dude, everybody could relate to that. Because jobs are being taken from everyone. There was an episode of Good Times. The guy, he was a big corporate job. Let's say he was an accountant, right? He lost his job because they hired a younger guy. Mm-hmm. Let's say he was making 100,000. Back then, it probably wasn't 100,000. It was probably 50,000. But they're paying a younger guy 10,000. Yeah, they got rid of the old guy because it's paying him too much. So that's been happening for years, bro. So for a brother, because we're talking about black men or niggas, how can you provide for your family if the jobs scarcity is skyrocketing?
Is increasing.
Then you gotta remember, let's say if a person, you gotta remember it's not what you know, it's who you know. And if you're not part of these cliques or anything like that, or whatever societies, it's probably harder for you to get a job.
Yeah.
And if you do get a job, you got to create your own avenue. And sometimes it's hard to create your own avenue because people might have advertisement and money. They're seeing more into the masses than you. So it's so much for a person. And sometimes bills got to get paid. So how do you get the money quicker? You got to wait a week to pay this bill, or you got to sell this crack rock, rob this person, this, and this. I'm not saying it's right, but the system is
That's just the
system. So can I blame the person? Yes and no. It's kind of hard to blame someone, but hopefully my explanation.
You understand why they're doing it.
Yeah. And I be looking, I'm like, listen, which why I always tell people, hey, keep a gun on you, keep a knife, keep something on you just in case that person is hungry. Like Freeway said it, if my heat stop working and my heat starts working, if whatever the heating company cuts off the heat, but this gun works, I'm going to have to go rob somebody to provide for my family. He didn't say I'm rich and I'm still going to rob people. No, he says I got to make sure my kids are good. So it's a lot. It's a lot, bro.
Interesting. Where do the individuals caught in these in this type of situation, where, from your experience, talking to other people, if they are in this situation, where do they find solace? Where do they find peace? Does peace exist for them?
You know what? I always tell people I have my master's in YouTube University. I'm a psych major. I'm trying to get my PhD in TikTok University.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But Where do people find their peace? There's multiple ways to find their peace, and I'm gonna tell you the most common ones: the liquor stores, the liquor, the bottle, the drugs. So, but the safest route or is video games or a hobby. So I always tell people, if you want to unplug yourself from the system, go back to your youthful days. Go find something that when you were a kid or something like that always calmed you down. It could be a TV show, it could be a video game, it could be a shirt or whatever. Go try to remember that and try to go back to that. So let's say if you had a rough day at work and your video game that used to calm you down as a kid was Super Mario. Go play Super Mario when you come from work, even if it's 10 to 30 minutes. Just that hit of dopamine, you'd be like, all right, I could go back to reality now. So yeah, so there's multiple ways to find peace. It could be drugs, video games. You just got to find it and then make sure that you can handle it and then go back to being a responsible adult.
Interesting. I find that to be, well, let me put it like this. I find that to be a minor, or what do we call it? A temporary satisfaction.
Yeah.
For me, that's, and of course it's going to be different for a lot of people, but for me, that's not what I would call peace necessarily. And I say that because I live, this is from my personal experience. Of course, growing up, play video games, that was always my hobby and stuff like that. And then when issues came up, I played more video games. When I was in school and I was trying to, keep to myself, stay out of trouble, but also when things were tough, what did I do? Play video games, all that good jazz. What made me stop playing video games as much is, one, becoming an adult.
You started getting vaginas.
Shut up. No.
Oh God, I'm joking.
Oh man.
I'm joking.
But it started when I started to find real peace. And of course, I mean, this Big Blue Reacts, culture and faith. I had to bring in the faith aspect of it. It's really my faith and understanding what Jesus has done, what God can do, and my ultimate purpose for being in this earth that allows me to have peace and to have joy, where I go afterwards, that allows me to have peace and joy, understanding all the wisdom that comes in, reading the books in the Bible that gives me the peace. And again, this is from my experience with my Lord. Everybody's experience is going to be a little different. But when it comes to the whole responsibility thing, I then put things that were temporary satisfactions away, because I found that peace, to now I'm becoming more productive, which allowed me to get farther in life, because I've substituted that time with the temporary satisfaction has been removed. Now I'm doing more stuff with it, hence with the YouTube. I could have easily been playing video games for the past 2-3 years that I've been doing this YouTube thing, but now I'm building up something in, trying to get ahead of this system, get out of this system. That's been broken, that's been holding people down. Not only that, the faith has also led me into avenues that if I stayed in those temporary satisfactions, I wouldn't have had these opportunities come up. And again, different for everybody, but it's it's a starting place, and I think a lot of people find what they call peace as just something that they need to keep coming back to. Now, granted, the faith is something that we keep coming back to, but it's not something that I need, I need to go to church on Sunday because I'm just feeling distraught. No, I have the Bible to do that, to give me scriptures, to give me words that allow me to remember what it is that I'm here for, what it is that I'm doing, and the people that I'm serving. And then I have other people that are in the same boat as I am, that give me that encouragement so that I can keep doing what it is that I'm doing and keep moving forward. But again, it's different for a lot of people, and that differs from person to person, because like we mentioned earlier, there's some people that claim to be of the faith, but they don't even crack open that book and really understand what the faith means, because they really did. I believe that a lot of people, if they knew what the word means and really sought a relationship with Jesus, then they would find that peace so that they can then move forward. Their minds would change, and they'll be able to live this life a whole lot differently than what they did in the past. A lot of things that they find as joy, as satisfaction, or what makes them happy, they realize that it was just a tool that they use, and find, solace, find peace in Jesus, who brings peace, and then be able to operate that time that was used to be productive. But I mean, again, everybody's situation is different. They're going to look at that view very different. But yeah.
And I get it, for all the people out there, I used to play checkers, right? Mm-hmm. I thought I was pretty good. Until this nigga right here. This nigga Blue used to kick my ass in checkers so many times.
Yo, wait, no, it wasn't. Come on, bro.
We used to play checkers on when you moved to Georgia. I used to send this nigga like a Yahoo messenger, like, yo, let's play checkers.
Yeah. Yo, I forgot that was a thing.
This nigga used to abuse me. I remember, I think we played, let's say 50 times. I beat him one time.
There was, yeah.
And I said, did you let me win? He's like, I was like, yes, you did. Bro. Man. So it was bad. It was bad. But I say that to say this. Now you finding your peace, you probably put down video games and you probably found this. But at the end of the day, you still found something that stimulates your mind and takes you out of reality and says, you know what? I can lose myself into this. I can find new harmony in this. Yes, I'm pushing a message within my faith, but this is your new peace. Now, some people are just stuck in their peace. This is what makes them be like, I ain't gonna go out and kill somebody, or I ain't gonna slap my boss. That's what, and you're saying it's a temporary thing. If it's temporary or not, they still found it. I'm not gonna knock people for doing it, because you know what I mean. My peace. Shit, music. You see the studio, you see these vinyls and stuff like that. You see the piano in the background. I had one of my boys play on the keys. That nigga disrespected the hell and almost pimp slapped the hell out that nigga on sight. Mind you, at that time, I had this keyboard for like a year or two. He touched the keyboard. He's like, "Oh, this is barely used." I said, "Mother, what the hell? What the hell?" He was like, "Yeah, you barely use this." I'm like, "How'd you know?" Because this stiff as hell. He's like, nigga, you could tell if this was used a lot, it'd been broken or something like that. I was like, damn, that junk's still brand new. I don't use that. But what I'm saying is creating is my piece. Music, anything that involves creativity. And I believe that me and Apple need to sit down, whoever owns Apple or any managers.
Okay.
We need to have a conversation, because everything in here is Apple, but my phone.
But the phone.
Yeah. I've been using Apple since the big computers. I remember when they introduced the colored back ones. And
back in the 90s.
Yes, and I've been using Apple ever since
then.
So I say that to say this: I lose myself inside the music. Even if it could be music, audio book, or whatever. If whatever can help me say I don't feel like pimp slapping my boss, I run to it. Whatever. Listen. So whatever people's piece is, please. As long as it doesn't really harm you and other people.
Other people. Okay, I was just about to say that.
Because if your piece is to play video games for an hour or two, go do that. Because some shorty be like, "Oh, what are you doing playing video games?" Girl, he might need that video game, or he gonna slap the shit out of somebody.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm gonna bring something back again. When these people be having these mass shootings, are they listening to Lil Wayne?
That's a good question.
Are they listening to hip hop culture? I was gonna say this on my podcast, but we here. There was one dude, right? He's in jail. Yes, he's a big homie. He had I think it was Rico or whatever, but he had 4 bodies. He killed 4 people, and he's doing like triple life or whatever. I said, you only caught 4. The mass shooter, I don't know if he was a transgender. I don't know what he was, but he killed more than 4 people. I don't think he was listening to the Carter 6. So that's why sometimes I'll be like, they want to blame our culture. Hey, listen, you could blame. I don't want to say our culture. They just want to blame people that look like me and you for what's going on in the world. When it might help you, but I ain't gonna blame it like it created it.
Yeah, like it's yeah.
That's why I stand. I'm not they're not the creators.
Yeah, no, for sure.